You're live.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is the annual meeting and election of the Las Palmas Grand Residents Association. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. It's an important day for all of us. We have two candidates for two positions on the board, and this will set the agenda for the next year or two of the activities of your association. So we're so glad you're here. It's an important meeting. I want to welcome you here in person and welcome those who are on YouTube right now watching us. Hi there, folks at home. We appreciate you tuning in. Let's get started, and we'll start with the salute to the flag. If you all please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wonderful. Before we get started, I want to remind you that we're selling 50/50 tickets that are $1 each or 3 for $2. And Dan Shanahan has blue tickets. Those are for door prizes. You get one ticket as long as you're in attendance, and we have 2 door prizes at the end of the meeting. So stick around. It's to your best interest to win one of those door prizes. So red tickets are for 50/50. Blue ticket is for door prize. Wrong way. Blue tickets are for 50/50. Red tickets for door prize. Hey, what do I know? They changed the colors on me. Okay, so as I said early, this is the election, and I want to give you a little bit of information about the election. Our nominating committee chair is Pam Williams as our secretary. That's one of her duties. And Peggy Marcone also did a lot of footwork to talk with people about standing for election. I know sometimes you feel, intimidated by being on a board like this, but really you get to know a lot of people. You get some new friends as you're doing your work on the board. So we appreciate everyone that even considered running for the board. And we have 2 candidates today, and I'll introduce both of them in a few minutes. So I want to thank Pam and Peggy both. And then we have official vote counters, and I would like to name those and get approval. So our vote counters today are Lois Shanahan, Dave Eason, Debbie Spratt, and Joan Swanson. They're all 4 sitting in the back. They probably have distributed ballots already, and they'll be collecting the ballots as well. So I'd like a motion to approve the vote counters. Thank you. Can I get a second? Thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the vote counters are official. Right. If you did not receive a ballot yet, would you raise your hand so we can get one over to you? There's somebody in the back. Anyone else? One thing I want to caution you. Your name has to be on your lease in order for you to vote. So if you're a couple that owns the home, but only one of you is on the lease, only one of you can vote. So we have a checklist back there that Lois will be verifying. And if we get a voter who's disqualified, we have to disqualify the ballot. But if you're both on the lease, you both get to vote. Okay? So if you're a married couple and you're both on the lease, you both get a ballot. You both get to vote. All right? Is that good? Clear? Great. Thank you. So what else I want to explain is people get confused by this. This election is for a member of the board. It's not for a president. It's not for a secretary. It's not for any officer. It's for a member of the board. Next week at the regular board meeting, those 5 people will choose amongst themselves who will be your next president, first vice president, second vice president, secretary, and treasurer. That is done internally by the board, so we're not voting for a particular office. There are 2 terms, and they're for 2 years each. All the terms on the board run for 2 years. And so we have 2 expiring terms, and that's my term, Margaret Jacoby, and Walt Smiles on the end over there. Our terms are expiring, and 2 new people will be taking the positions on the board. So don't forget, only vote for 2. If you have a write-in candidate, there's a spot on the ballot for you to write someone in if you so choose. But right now, we just have 2 candidates. I will have the candidates come up. So Dee and Donna, if you'll just come around here and get ready to speak for a second, I'd appreciate it. Any questions on the process? Okay, wonderful. So hold on. Donna, is Dee here? Dee, you want to come up? Okay, thank you. Yes, John. No, you may not. Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so Dee, let's have you step up for a minute so that you can see who you're voting for. This is Dee Hammond.
Good morning. My name's Dee Hammond. I live in 282, and I've lived here for about 10 years. And I'm very excited to be able to be on the ballot for a member of the association. Thank you.
Okay, so that's Dee, and here comes Donna Mueller, and she's the other name on your ballot.
Good morning. I'm Donna Mueller. I live at 456, and I've been here a little over 4 years. I'm very excited to be a part of the board if that should happen. I believe I have a lot to offer and a lot to suggest and be helpful to the board. And that is it.
Great, thank you. And thank you both for taking the risk and standing up for election. We really appreciate it. Okay, so if there are no other questions on the process, we will go back to the regular order of business. You should have, we had limited number of agendas, but there should be some scattered around on the tables. So I will introduce the current board for you. That's me, Margaret Jacoby. I'm your president. First vice president is Peggy Marcone. Second vice president is Sue Smith right here. Secretary is Pam Williams over here. And treasurer is Walt Smiles. Okay, that's your current board. And you will have 3 of these folks remaining on the board to work with the 2 new people. So we're really happy about that. Okay, minutes. October 7th was our last meeting. We posted those minutes on the website and we sent them out via email to our email list. So we don't read them here at the meeting to save time. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes as distributed? Thank you. Second? Dan, thank you. Any questions on that? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, the minutes are adopted. Treasurer's report. Walt Smiles is our treasurer, and he's going to give his report.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank Margaret for doing the treasurer's report while I was spending the summer in Michigan. Got away from the heat here. So, but as of 10/1, the balance in the account was $673.93. We had deposits from the 50/50 of $19.50 and recycling $75.20 for total deposits of $94.70. We had expenses for the website update of $65, leaving a balance of $703.63, which corresponds with the bank balance. Okay, can I get a motion to accept? Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Motion carried.
Perfect. Good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
I also want to tell you that while Walt was in Michigan, he was in the hospital a couple of times having some procedures. We're so happy that he got back here to LPG and is amongst us walking around and healthy. So we're really glad that Walt is back. Treasurer's report, okay. Old business, Neighborhood Watch. Sally Nostrand is here. She's our Neighborhood Watch coordinator. You may remember her as Sally York, but she had an exciting event over the summer and she's now Sally Nostrand. So Sally, if you'll give us your report.
Thank you, Margaret. Good morning, and I just have some brief updates for you for Neighborhood Watch. It's going really well. I'm very happy with the support we have from the whole community and all the street captains that have volunteered. We meet monthly now. We have a Neighborhood Watch meeting. It's open to all the residents, anyone who's interested in attending one or all the meetings. And we meet the second Tuesday of every month at 3 o'clock in the clubhouse in whatever room is assigned and available that day. So we meet this coming Tuesday, November 9th at 3 o'clock. And we discuss any new issues, some ongoing things that we're working on, and just review what's of interest to the community from the Neighborhood Watch perspective. Las Palmas, our neighboring community on Power and University, they have about 520 homes and they have an active Neighborhood Watch. I've been working closely with them all year. And they are having a Getting Arizona Involved in Neighborhoods event this Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. It's outdoors in their pool area and around the outdoors of the clubhouse. But Mesa Police, Mesa Fire, and the Mesa City Council members will be at that event. And I encourage folks to attend. I think I'll be there just to check it out. If there's enough interest from residents here in our community, we may plan our own event later in the year. I'm thinking maybe January or February, while all the snowbirds are here. And they'll have live music at that event too. So it should be a lot of fun and very informative. So I encourage folks to attend if they're interested. In the future, if anything happens here at LPG, we've had a quiet year, knock on wood. But if anything happens that folks should be alerted to immediately, we will be using the Facebook LPG private group called LPG Open Forum. If you use Facebook and you're not on this, in this private group, just search for LPG Open Forum and fill out the little questionnaire like what unit number are you in, what's your name, and they'll verify that and then add you as a member. It's a really good private page to be on. It's very positive, it's very well managed, but that's the site where that Neighborhood Watch will use if anything comes up that everyone should be alerted to. Like if a vacant home has an incident during the summer, we would put it on there so that caregivers can check their other homes, or people can just be alerted to what's going on here. We still need some more street captains. I broke LPG into 81 sections of anywhere from 4 to 15 homes, so it's easy and manageable if you want to be a street captain. And we currently have 30% of our community covered by street captains. We have, I think, 837 homes here. We have 21 street captains, and they're covering 253 of our homes here. So we're growing every month. We get a few more street captains every month. We've made it very easy. You can talk to any of our current street captains, and they told me to emphasize that they feel it's very easy to be a street captain. And it's a great way to meet others through neighborhood watch meetings, meet other street captains, meet new residents on your block, and just get to know your neighbors and feel connected on your street a little more. I've met the most wonderful people in doing this year. It's really been a positive, probably the best thing I've done since I've moved here 3 years ago. So if you are interested in being a street captain, you can see me after the meeting or contact me anytime. I have, if you volunteer, what I do is I just have some forms to give you in a folder. I make you a street ID badge so that when you meet your neighbors as a street captain, they know you're not a solicitor and won't call the office about that, which has happened at Las Palmas. And then I would just meet you here at the clubhouse or wherever it's convenient for you and review the paperwork with you very briefly. It takes about 30 minutes or less. So it's very easy, and there's no responsibilities in terms of patrolling, nothing like that. It's just mainly having someone on each street that's, kind of a connection person, a point person for their street if anything comes up. So thank you for your support. Are there any questions? Yes, Kathy. This Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. at Las Palmas, and they're located on Power and University. I think it's 200 something North Power. What is it? 215 North Power is their main entrance. And if you have the sticker on your car, they'll wave you right through. But it should be a very good event. They have the largest gain event in the county. They've been doing it for years, so they really do it well, and they're very well attended by our local police, fire, and city council members. So, thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you for all the time you put in, into Neighborhood Watch. We really appreciate it.
I'm just going to pass this.
Oh, we're going to pass a sign-up sheet around. One of the Neighborhood Watch requirements is that Sally records when we have informational meetings, and we consider this one an informational meeting because we're passing on the information that she has for us. Also, if you look on our website, lpgra.org, there's a page for Neighborhood Watch, and you can get updates, you can get minutes, you can get forms on there. You can keep up with what's going on Neighborhood Watch. So tune in to Neighborhood Watch on the website if you miss one of these meetings. I just want to make sure, has everyone turned in their ballot who's here? Do we need to collect any others? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Oh, okay. There's a ballot up front that needs, a couple of them that need picking up, if you don't mind. Thanks. Dave Eason's going to come around and get those from you. Let's move on to the newsletter, and Sue Smith is our newsletter editor. Sue, you're on.
Good morning. I'm always excited when a newsletter has been put to bed. And the November, which is the Veterans Day and Christmas edition, will be coming out the first of next week. So you should be receiving it. I am now in the process of taking stories and so forth for the next edition, which will be in February, which would be a Valentine's Day theme. So if anybody wants to send me maybe some anecdotes of how you met your spouse or whatever, that would be fine. I will tell you on a personal note that I met my husband, Larry, on June 18th, and by September 18th, we were married. Now, he lived 12 hours from my house, and he was stationed with the military, and he found it very tiring to date me. So he said, why don't you just marry me, and it's going to be easier on both of us. So we did, and we're very happy after 39 years. So I will be looking for any kind of stories or newsletter updates for the edition in February. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. You go, Larry. Sue works really hard on putting that together. I've just edited or gone over the next newsletter. She puts photos in there when they're supplied to her, and she tries to make it fun and engaging. This is going to be a long one, I have to tell you folks, but there's a lot of good and fun information in there for the holidays. So we distribute the newsletter only through our email list. We can't afford to print them, to have them sit out. So I attach a copy to a newsletter, an email for you. So if you want the newsletter and you're not on the email list, you need to give me your email address before you leave today, and I'll make sure that you're on that list to get a copy on Monday. Recycling, Alan, you're up. Alan's worked really hard also on recycling. He's put a lot of energy and time and in setting it up and then collecting the containers and taking them out for us. So we really appreciate Alan. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Margaret. Yeah, recycling is going pretty well. We're just doing two types. We're doing aluminum cans, aluminum beverage containers, and we're doing plastics. The plastics have to be clear plastics like water bottles, juice containers, things with screw lids on them. And they can be tinted, but they can't be milk, like milk jugs, cloudy milk jugs. It's going well. We're recycling about 60 pounds a week. And the funds are all going to the LPGRA. So I think that's your main fundraiser that's been going on for the last, since April. And so we've been very happy with it. I could use another person with a pickup truck to help back up the delivery to Junior's Recycling up on Main Street. And the program's going well. We get some stuff in there that doesn't belong. We'll get some pretzel containers and things like that that are not beverage containers. Other than that, though, it's been going very well. I'm very happy. You guys are doing a good job. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. If anybody would like to help Alan with that, we'll provide his contact information for you. Somebody had a question here. Back at the big green dumpster on Juniper Hills, right in the back there. And they're very clearly marked. Okay, so AMHO, Sue Smith.
AMHO. Most of us know what it stands for, but I always feel lost when I'm in a crowd and I'm new and people use initials and you don't know what it means. AMHO stands for Arizona Association of Manufactured Homes, RVs, and Park Model Owners. We are a manufactured home community, and AMHO does a lot when it comes to the laws of Arizona that are going to govern these types of dwellings. And I have a lot of literature up here, which you are free to come up and take. It is nonprofit, and there are some dues if you would like to join and get their newsletter that they send out about what's going on. It is a great organization for all of us to belong to. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. And some of you attended the AMHO workshop back on October 28th. And we were given information about the latest changes to the Landlord-Tenant Act, which is what governs how we live in this community. That workshop is on the YouTube channel if you missed it and would like to go back and look at it. And we also have a few copies of the Landlord-Tenant Act up here that you can take home and look at, okay? Right, it's not the new one that took effect November 1st. That is on the AMHO website if you want to look at that. But we do have significant, these are significantly updated except for November 1st. So you're welcome to pick those up. The board works really hard on your behalf, and we meet with the management team on the second Thursday of the month. And I'll give you a report, I'll give you an update on that in a moment, but we would like to let you know what we've accomplished over this last year, from November of last year to November now. And Peggy Marcone, who's our first vice president, is going to give you that information. And this information will also be posted on our website.
Oops. Hi. Okay, I have to say, first of all, I am very happy to be on the board here. It's been quite an enlightening experience. I've met so many people, and I really have truly enjoyed being on the board. It's just a really helpful thing, I think, for everyone, and I love the input that we get from the community. I'm really happy to see people that have volunteered for this, and I wish that we had like 10 names on that list. You know, it would be nice to have more people that wanted to participate in the board. It's your board. It's the people of this community that make the difference. So anyway, what we have completed, this is the accomplishments with the support of LPG management, which I must say has been very helpful, and they are, we work extremely well with them, which I do appreciate. So we have completed, as far as health and safety goes, we have reactivated the Neighborhood Watch program. We've added security cameras in the mailroom areas and at each entry and exit gate. That was a big problem, and management has worked right along with us, and that's been accomplished. White lines at stop signs, that was added for safety. The phase 1 was completed in 2020, and phase 2 is being completed. I think it was completed. I've been walking around noticing the new white lines at the stop signs. So that's been very helpful also. The recycling program, you heard from Alan, what a great job he's been doing. We started out with just the aluminum cans, and then we were on a trial basis with that, and it went so well that we were allowed to also add the water bottles to that. So that's great, and thank you all for your participation. Communications, we updated our website. I don't know if you were here long enough to be under the old website that was just about, I didn't know how to use it anyway. So that has all been updated. There's a new page on there also for the Neighborhood Watch program. We added that. We have a new email address, and I will give that to you if you want to write this down anytime that you need to contact the board. It's lpgraboard@gmail.com. And that we check regularly, so feel free to use that. We've audited and enhanced the LPGRA email database. That is only if you give us your email. We don't just go through the phone book and add everybody. So you have to add to that. And with that, we have the distribution of the monthly meeting minutes and announcements of interest and information relevant to the LPGRA residents. So that's a really good thing to be on. I think if you want to be in contact, if you want to be connected to what's going on in the community, it's a really good thing to get on that email. The quarterly newsletter was started. The LPGRA Observer, that comes out in February, May, August, and November, 4 times a year. And right now we're just doing it through email because the cost of printing is way too high. So that's been, it's just a community newsletter for everyone to just feel like they know what's going on in this community. We're doing live streaming of the LPGRA monthly meeting on YouTube. Thank you guys in the back for all your help on that. It's been very helpful through the pandemic and people not being able to attend for one reason or another. You can always see it on the YouTube. The Landlord Tenant Act workshop by AMHO that was held on October 28th. That was for our community. Informational speakers at general meetings. We've had several people come in to talk to you about different issues. With community relations, we have improved resident and LPG board and LPG management interactions. And I have to say that has been a blessing. Management wants to hear from us. They work with us, and we've had a very good relationship with them. The new LPG RA board elections today. Those are things that we do, that we have managed to keep going throughout our terms here. Let's put it that way. So in the works, we have, for safety, we want to make sure that the white lines at the stop locations are all added. I'm not sure if all of them are done. I haven't done a complete tour of the whole community. But that is to be completed by maintenance during the course of this year. And then green waste and the recycling area. This seems to be an issue at times. So we've been told that there's going to be cameras that are going to be put into that area. They are to be installed sometime in early 2022. And also signs will be up describing the acceptable and unacceptable items. We have requested that they put that up in there, and so that is being researched at this point. So, does anybody have any questions? I think it's been a very successful year for the board, and I really want to tell you that if it weren't for Margaret Jacoby, I would not be on the board. She's the one who talked me into this. And it's been absolutely great. And Walt Smiles is a pleasure to work with. I really think that the two of them have been an absolute blessing to this board for their term. So I would really like to give both of them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. As you heard by the list of accomplishments, we feel pretty good about what we've accomplished over this last year. And I know that the new board will continue to keep residents' concerns and questions in mind and work with the management team in order to get some of those resolved for you. I have one more item, which is the open items list. And this is a spreadsheet that we use to take to those management meetings. And we list all of your concerns on there when we get a copy of your concern. I have some blank forms here. If you don't have that concern, fill it out and let us know what your concerns are. That you can also find that on the website as well. So you can, if you need a copy, you can pick it up. You can duplicate it as you need to. If you have a little printer, you can, print as many as you want, but they are on the website as well. So we will take up the items that are still open on the open items list. And the item that is still open, number 1, is the signing of the leases. That has been on the agenda since December 10th, 2020. And as of today, we still don't have those. At the last meeting that we held with management on the 14th of October, Corinne said she had not received a final copy. So we're still waiting for that. We really don't know what the holdup is, but we don't have new leases yet. What we do know is the lease, when you get it, will be dated 1/1/22. Okay, it'll be next January. So the year of 2021, this will not be retroactive for this year. It'll be going forward in January of 22. I'm sure the new board will keep this on the agenda and report, what's happening. The other item that generally stays on the agenda is dogs and the dog park. That seems to be an ongoing concern. On October 14th, Corinne talked about the rules and regulations and referred to the the pet registration form. If you have a pet, you should have registered that pet when you signed your lease. If you didn't have a pet when you moved in, but you got a pet in the meantime, you should go to the office and fill out a pet registration form. If you are not keeping your pet under control, whether it's in the dog park or out on the street, you don't have your pet leashed, your neighbors will probably let the office know. If they can identify you and your lot number, then you will get the first of a couple or 3 letters that warns you about the regulations in the park for your pet. So just so we know that there are some rules and regulations if you have a pet, especially cleaning up after your pets and not letting them deposit their calling card on your neighbor's front area. So those are, the dogs always stay on the list. The white lines at the stop signs, as Peggy reported, phase 2 is complete. They have been painted as promised. So we're closing white lines right now. Phase 3 will be next year, and the board will stay in touch with Todd Lutz and the construction department to get phase 3 up and running. A couple of years ago, Dave Eason and Walt Smiles did a survey in the community, and they put together a map of where the most vulnerable stop signs are. And we turned that over to the construction department, and they have followed that in doing phase 1 and phase 2. So they have that on file in their office, but the board also has a copy and will continue when the next street recoding happens. They will bring that up again to make sure that we get phase 3 stop signs, the white lines at the stop signs. So that's closed for right now because phase 2 is complete. The green waste area and recycling. Okay, this is separate from the blue barrels that are out there. This is that big green dumpster. Okay, this is on the list a lot because people are confused about what goes in that dumpster. The community individually pays 25% of the cost. No, the community pays 75% of the cost and management pays 25%. Their 25% gives them permission to dump whatever they like in that container. So if they're doing reconstruction here or they have waste materials aside from what they do around the green areas, they can put that stuff in there. We cannot. They have made it very clear to the board that that is for our green waste only. So you may not dump your old hot water heater in there. Just a moment. You may not do that. If you're remodeling your kitchen, you may not throw the old cabinets or leftover wood or any of that in there. Now, it has been proposed that they put a second dumpster out there that would be 100% for the community, and they would keep the other one that's there for themselves. We would pay 100% of the cost of that dumpster. Now, the dumpster cost goes by weight. So the more you throw in there, the heavier it will become. Right now, we are paying a couple, $3 a month for the waste. If we take that on, and this is up to the community, and the next board will continue to talk to you about this and get your feeling about it, then your cost could go up to $10 a month for a dumpster like that. Now, keep in mind, only certain people will use it. It's not everybody in the community who will dump their hot water heaters and cabinets and, old furniture and things like that. So the whole community will pay for an entire dumpster to be used by a few people. The board is not happy with that, but we felt it was our obligation to bring that forward to you so that you would know that that is something on the table. Okay? So keep that in mind and we will keep you updated on that. No. The question was asked, that is not fixed, it's not in stone. No, that's just a proposal that's out there for the community to consider. The next item is closure of the gate on the green waste. And I'll take questions at the end, okay? The closure of the gate. The board brought up a few times that perhaps if the gate were closed on that area at say 5 o'clock, then people wouldn't be going surreptitiously in there and dumping things. Like we have found TVs in there. And as I said, hot water heaters show up. Old furniture, when somebody was cleaning out a home that they just recently purchased, they cleaned out all the furniture and they dumped it back there. So the board suggested that perhaps we limit the hours that are accessible to that area. So on the 14th of October, Todd Lutz, who is the construction manager here, vice president of Thesmans, was agreeable to posting a sign there limiting the hours. For example, this is not in stone, this is for example, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then the cameras are going to be installed in that area. They're scheduled for the early first quarter of next year. And then we'll be able to see who's dumping inappropriate material in there. But limiting the hours may curb that kind of, wrongful dumping. So that'll stay on the agenda until something really is resolved. We had concerns about a palm tree that had not been trimmed for several years. We brought it up several times to management, and we're closing that one because the landscaper for those homeowners finally came and cleaned, they got letters, to get it resolved and cleaned up. The landscaper did come and take care of that. So we closed this item on the 14th. But just so you know, if you have palm trees on your property, you do have a responsibility to clean those up, trim those, and you have, a certain time frame every year to get that done. So that was on our agenda and it is closed. Another thing that was brought up were procedures for visitors, and this was brought up by Neighborhood Watch because we're asking that visitors and vendors be screened more carefully at the front gate, not just randomly allowed to go through. That if a visitor comes, they need to know who they're visiting. They need to have a lot number. They need to have a name so that the front gate staff can go ahead and check that out. We don't want people giving out their code numbers when the gates close, when the front gate security guards are, doing the rounds here. We don't want people to give out. And I know it's an issue when, was it Grubhub and those food delivery people are coming, or even the grocery stores that deliver, groceries to us in here. If the guards are out doing their thing, we don't want you to give their code out. So we're working with management to try to figure out a way to resolve that. Now, on the 14th, we're closing this because on the 14th, Todd Lutz reported that a new system is being implemented, and he felt it would be middle to late 2022, where instead of a clicker, you're going to have a decal or something, a scan something on your car that will allow you in the gate. So someone that doesn't have one, you can't pass your clicker on to them to let them in the gate. They're going to have to know your gate number. You're going to have to be able to let them in. They should be registered at the front gate in any event. So that's going to happen mid to late 2022, and the board will keep you all apprised on that. This stays on the agenda temporarily, but for the most part, it's going to be closed, and I'll take questions at the end. Neighborhood Watch requested a caretaker communication tree so that if winter visitors are not here and there's something happening at their property, Neighborhood Watch could contact their caregiver, caretaker. However, on the 14th of October, we closed this because Corinne, who's another vice president who works over in the construction office there, said that they did not wish to have that list given out to Neighborhood Watch captains. They felt that if Neighborhood Watch saw something happening at a vacant home or a home that's unoccupied at the moment, that should be reported to the office. And the office would contact the owner and the caretakers for that property. So they asked that Neighborhood Watch not be concerned about contacting the caretakers, but contact the office. So we're closing that since I know we won't get any further with that one. And timing of the Guadalupe Gate, you know that gate closes in the evening and is supposed to open again by 6 a.m. We had some concerns that people who were going to work at 6 a.m., the gate was not being open till 6:10, 6:15, numbers like that. So Corinne indicated that she was going to go to the computer that day and make sure that the timing was set on the computer, because apparently it's an automatic something. So the timer may have not, been not functioning correctly at that time. So we're closing that on good faith that she has gone and collected it. I see somebody giving me a thumbs down. So the board will pay attention and bring that up again, and I'll mark that that it's not closed. You all need to let us know that, when things like that are happening. So, and we only meet with them once a month. So, it might take time between the time you let us know and the time we can address it with them. A month could have elapsed. The new operating hours at LPG, everybody got notice of that. The one big concern was the lap swimmers in the pool. They generally started their lap swims a little before 7 a.m. when the maintenance staff had finished cleaning the pool for the day, because 8 a.m. started the water aerobics classes, and lap swimmers seem to they need the whole length of the pool on that side, and the water aerobics classes seem to gather in that same area. So it was suggested that we put the lane rope up, that the maintenance people put the lane rope up so that lap swimmers can use that lane. And we're having to close that because we really need cooperation between the lap swimmers and the water aerobics participants, that we all like that pool. We all want to use that pool. And with the change in the hours from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., it makes it a little difficult. So we're asking for everybody to just be cooperative and kind, and, let everybody have the use of the pool that's necessary. The last thing is about wearing your mask in this room. When there's gatherings of 25 or more, we're supposed to have our masks on. I noticed that at the appreciation dinner, Tuesday night, nobody had their mask on. Sitting in chairs just like this. We don't have our masks on here right now. Some of us do, but most of us do not. So I don't know whether to close this on the agenda or not. I don't know what to do about that, because management was in attendance at the resident appreciation and nobody was challenged who didn't have their mask on. So I don't know what to say about that. I really don't want to take questions on that, because there's nothing that we can do or say about that except to make that observation. So this is still on the open items list until further notice. Okay. Now, before I take questions, I am going to open up the meeting in just a moment, but our trusty vote counters back there have turned in the vote count. So as you know, we had two candidates, Dee Hammond and Donna Mueller. We had 41 of you here cast ballots, and we had 11 absentee ballots in the box that we picked up this morning from the activities office. So that means we had 52 people voting in this election. While I'm really happy that all of you have voted, I am really disappointed that there are 800 homes in this community and only 52 people decided that it was worth their time and energy to vote for board members. Really discouraging. I'm hoping that folks who didn't vote will turn out and support your board. We cannot operate without your support. And something like this, 52 people out of how many people? 800 homes, 2 people to a home, maybe? That's abysmal. But I'm happy all of you turned out to vote. I'm happy for you people on YouTube who sent in your absentee ballots. I really appreciate that. Our two candidates appreciate that. And the official results are the election of Dee Hammond and Donna Mueller to the board. So let's congratulate them. Now, reorganization of the board will take place next Thursday at the regular board meeting. They will select new officers at that time. But right now, you're stuck with us until the end of this meeting. Okay, so thank you to the vote counters. I really appreciate your taking the time and doing everything that it takes to get those numbers collected and tabulated and all of that. So now we'll open up to questions and comments. And we have a microphone. Because you're so spread out, we have to have you take, go ahead, Sue. We have to have you use the mic because people on YouTube will not be able to hear you at all.
I have two questions. First of all,
First of all, tell us who you are and where you live.
Catherine Skinner in 439. On the decal, the scannable decal, is that going to override the fob so we won't need a fob?
That's my understanding. Yes, that'll be a new way to enter the park.
Okay, and my second question, has it ever been brought up that we should not have raises in our homeowner dues, whatever we would call them, unless there's a lease? They have no trouble raising our prices, but how long have we been waiting for a lease?
What we will tell you is you are under a month-to-month lease under the terms of the last lease that you had. And that last lease says that 90 days prior to January 1st, they give you a letter and they can raise your lot rent.
But we
And-
still don't have a lease.
No, you don't. You're still living under month-to-month, the last lease that you had. Okay, John Latson.
Hi, yeah, John Latson in 248. Couple of questions, Margaret. With respect to the leases, we assume that every Thesman property is experiencing the same
Yes,
problem?
same
Okay.
boat.
So it's not just us.
No.
For the dumpster yard, the possibility of the additional dumpster, so we wouldn't pay for both, we would just pay for the one.
Right,
Okay, so the $2 or $3 would go away from the, okay.
right. And it would be replaced by 10 or however
Okay.
many dollars that would be
Okay.
that month.
Who would negotiate that? I mean, would the board?
Well, the board is going to have to figure out a way to get the wishes of the community. And I don't know how that's going to happen. You know, I have some
Okay.
ideas in my own head, but the new board will have to decide how to find out from the community who would be in favor of that and then bring that to management.
Okay, but they'll probably be the ones to negotiate the actual delivery and the
Right,
contract and stuff.
right, right.
The last thing, why is the gate open all the time? It used to be the first few years we were here, it was always closed,
Right.
and now it's always open.
Right,
Is
well-
it broken or?
No, it's not. It's just that it hasn't been closed. And now we've really asked that that be, the hours be limited and the gate be closed at, say, 5 PM. Thank you, John. 1 second, Peggy has something to add to that.
I just wanted to say something about the question about the leases. When, as of January 1st of this year, our leases went month to month. You are on a lease. The only way that you're not on a lease is if you terminate that lease. In that lease, it says that you are on a month-to-month lease, and it also says that 90 days before the first of the next year, you will get a raise. We all had our increase, and I did the math, and the rent could have gone up as much as $47, and the lowest that it should have gone up, according to the numbers in there, was $35. And everybody's rent went up 30. So I'm rather appreciative that it was less than what it could have been, but the numbers are right there in your lease. If you look at it, you can do the computation, do the math, and so, but I want people to understand that we are on a lease. We are on a month-to-month lease. So unless you terminate it, you have a lease.
Thanks, Peggy. Another question?
Okay.
Hank.
Hi, I'm
Hi,
Hank
Hank.
Nations from 613 12th Street. I wanted to ask Margaret a question regarding the potential or upcoming decal that will be on the cars. There are many communities that have that particular procedure, which works great. One lane's for guests, the other lane automatic for the residents. But the residents in those other communities that I know personally, there is a fee. And the resident decides if they want to pay the fee to have access to that automatic entry. Do we know yet if there will be a fee and what it possibly would be?
Yeah, good questions, Hank, but we don't know anything. All we know is that it's it's in the works to be done by mid to late 2022. Now, Todd has not shared any details about that. He's not mentioned a fee or anything of that sort. So we don't have anything to give you at this moment, but I'm sure the board will keep you apprised. Thank you.
Hi, Joan Swanson, Lot 577. Has anyone brought up to management about Google Maps bringing people into the Guadalupe Gate?
Yes, they have.
Because I got into not a real confrontation, but my husband was with me. The AAA driver was behind us. I refused to let him in. And I got out of the car and I said, "You cannot come through this gate." He goes, "Well, I'm replacing the battery. I need to." "No, you need to go around and go to the front. We don't know who you are. This is secured. You're trespassing." He goes, "Not when somebody hired me to change the battery." I said, "You will go around. I'm not moving until you back up and go around and exit this little corridor here and go to the front gate." Google Maps is out there to help us, but I've got a lot of people that follow me through that gate, even residents. They'll hold up their little clicker, but there's no tag in their window. I had one person pull the tag out of the side of her car door, open her window and say, "I've got it right here. Move." Hello, residents. We're here for a reason, for the safety of everybody. You know, neighborhood watch, I'm for it, 100%. But we as residents, we have to follow the rules. Get those tags in your windows in the left corner of the driver's window. They don't belong in the side door panel of your car. And a clicker showing me that, anybody can have one of those.
Right.
So we really need to work hopefully more on management to get them to get with Google Maps, to get them to update that map properly so that we don't encounter this kind of stuff anymore.
Right. Well, I will tell you that we brought that up numerous times in the 3 years that I've been on the board. And they have contacted Google Maps. Google Maps says we're not updating that area. They put Las Palmas Grand on Google Maps when it was under construction and when that was the only gate you could come in. So they are not sending their cars around to correct anything. It's up to them when they choose to update any area's maps. So I don't hold out any hope that Google Maps is going to do anything really soon. They're a big company. We're a little entity here. And I know that management has told us on multiple occasions that they will not, Google has told them they are not in the list for having updates to the map.
Well, then I think maybe we as residents should contact Google Maps and let them know too. I mean, I think you can send emails and stuff.
You certainly
Maybe
can.
if they hear more voices, something can be done.
If a resident gives out the Ellsworth address, they will go to that gate.
I'm just reporting for YouTube. A resident is stating that when a resident sends somebody here to do some job for them, they should give them the Ellsworth Avenue address and tell them to ignore Google Maps or their GPS. And it's a good idea, but a lot of us don't do that.
Right. Thank you.
Kudos to you for the gate.
If they, Peggy is saying, if you Google Las Palmas Grand, it will send you to Ellsworth Gate. Okay, but if you Googled the 2550 South Ellsworth, well, of course. Yes, of course. Yeah, well, that's because that construction gate was the only way into Las Palmas Grand for a number of years. So good point. Please tell your people to put 2550 South Ellsworth in their GPS. Okay, we have another question.
Hi.
Just a moment. Go ahead, Sally.
Oh, yeah, this is Sally Nostrand, Unit 521 with Neighborhood Watch. And I just wanted to clarify, Neighborhood Watch requested the caretaker communication tree. We requested a caretaker list from management. The only purpose of that list was so that if an incident happened at a vacant home, like during the summer, that was under the care of a caretaker, we could notify all the other caretakers to check their homes. We do not want to get involved in, individual incidents, like calling a caretaker instead of notifying them. I want to correct that. So management is, apparently misunderstood the purpose of the list. And I want to also add that this system has been in place at Las Palmas for about 8 years, and it's been very helpful to residents who have their homes under the care of a caretaker, so that they know if something happens to one vacant home, like during the summer, that all the caretakers will be aware of that and can check their homes. That was the only purpose of that request from management, but we'll just work with their response. There are other ways.
Well,
to
you can do that, or
communicate
you
that.
can ask the new board if you can be on the agenda for the next management meeting and talk with them, individually if they're not gonna, if you can't get in there to talk to Corinne individually, then maybe get on the agenda for the next board management meeting and talk about that.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll discuss that at our next Neighborhood Watch meeting this Tuesday.
Perfect.
We'll let everyone there make a decision.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks. Want to go, yep. Mike?
Mike Bickford, 464. On the green waste dumpster, I've had a couple people said conflicting parts about it, that our local landscapers can take our clippings and all that to it. Another person said, no, they have to take it to the landfill. I don't know what it is.
Well, I think what we learned early on in my tenure here, that certain landscapers that do a lot of work here have made an agreement with the management team, and they're aware of who they are, and they have the right to dump, but they can't come in with a full load, do your cuttings, and then go and dump it. They have to come in with an empty trailer and then do whatever they do here in Las Palmas Grand, and then they could take that over there.
Yeah, that was, it's been two different people that have said conflicting on that, and that's why I'm wondering who's getting the benefit.
I would suggest, Mike, if you could fill out one of those concern forms so that can get on the next management agenda meeting to clarify that for residents. That would be helpful.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. We have a question over here. No, right here.
Bud Raleigh, number 44. If you have somebody coming in here, whether it's a service person, a friend, or whoever, tell them, do not, under any circumstances, use GPS. Never.
Okay. That should eliminate some issues, shouldn't it? Any other questions or comments or any of that sort of stuff? Okay, Peggy.
I'm going to usurp this bigger authority here. As far as the green waste goes, I know someone asked me what is allowed in there, and I told them what we've been told is allowed in there. And then they let me know that the office said that they could dump other stuff in there, no problem. So in our management meeting, I wanted to know specifically what can we dump in there? And it was addressed again, and they said that the office personnel was being notified that the information that they gave to a resident was incorrect. that it is green waste from our yards that goes in there, and it's not all the other stuff that we keep finding in there. So I just wanted to clarify that there was some discrepancy at one point, but that has been addressed by management, so it should be clear.
Okay, anyone else? Dave, can you hang on a second till Sue comes with the microphone? Appreciate that. No. No, YouTube people can't hear you, and they need to see you.
Hi, Dave Eason, Unit 67. It was my understanding that Corinne had said we could put corrugated in the green waste. Now, is that changed?
We don't know. Sorry, we don't
Because
know.
I was at the meeting where she said you
I
could
know.
put corrugated in
I know.
there. Because that's what I've been doing with it,
Mhm.
but we don't know. Okay.
We don't know. Sorry. Any other questions or comments or whatever? Okay, I want to tell you that, oh, wait, here's somebody. Just a moment. Sue's coming.
My name is John Picard at 508. I just arrived here 2 days ago, and I heard from several people that the Theismann family might put their place for sale, and that's why they're holding on to the lease. Is that a rumor that you've heard? Because this is what I
We-
heard.
We have brought
So-
that up to management and they have denied it vehemently. That is not the reason we don't have leases, that Mr. Thesman obviously likes to look at everything himself. And he's so busy with other tasks that he doesn't get to look at the leases often enough. So they have several times said to us very strongly, no, the properties are not up for sale. That's all we can tell you. Anyone else? I think we have somebody approaching the microphone, or no? No, okay, she's just taking her seat. Okay, see, somebody's waiving their money to buy a 50/50 ticket. So, Dan? Oh. We'll get those tickets to you. We're not ready. Won't be ready for a couple minutes, but I do want to tell you before we do that, December 2nd is the next general meeting. That'll be here, 9:30 in the ballroom, and on YouTube as well. And normally the meetings are limited to 1 hour. We do try to stick to that timeline. This is a little bit longer because we had the election and, a little larger agenda, but we do try to maintain the 1 hour time limit. I want to take a personal moment to just thank all of you who have come out month after month in my 3 years as your president and supported the association. Anytime we instituted something new, like the concern forms, you stepped right up and instead of calling me on the phone, you did fill those out. And so we could get those on the agenda for management meetings. I have personally felt very supported by members of the community, and I'll miss this interaction with you. But 3 years, that's a long time, and we need some new thought, some new fresh perspectives. And I'm really glad that we have 2 new folks on the board to bring that to you. So I just want to say, I personally want to thank you all for your support. I think that Walt wants to say something.
Well, again, Margaret said it very well, that it's been a pleasure working with all the residents, the board, and management with my 3 years on the board. I would encourage any person that's been with the community for a year or two and they want to learn a lot more about it to get involved with the board, because I got to meet a lot of great people, learn a lot about the community, and it's been very enjoyable. Again, it's all the board members are, they're great people to work with, and I've made a lot of new friends. So again, residents, I thank you very much for letting me be your treasurer for 3 years, and keep supporting the new boards over the next several years. Thank you.
Okay, and I also want to thank Larry, Lee, and Bill. You have been here, doing these YouTube streamings for us, and you've made it a real pleasure to get involved in this new high technology that we're all living under. But Larry has especially, he's made little name things for us so the people at home will be able to see the website and the phone numbers and the email addresses and the names of the people who are speaking. So we really, really appreciate the three of you and all the efforts you have put into getting us on live stream on YouTube. Okay, so before we do the drawings, we close the meeting because YouTube watchers don't want to see who's winning these things. So we sign off to YouTube, and I'll take a motion to adjourn this part of the meeting. Dan, thank you. Thank you. Motion's adjourned. We are adjourned. Thank you. You have the count now? All right.